From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for the debate.
The debate at 10, powered by Century ProWood, Panasonic and Tata Motors.
Hello and welcome this Tuesday evening as I, Abhishek Kapoor, fill in for Arnab Goswami, and a very happy Holi also, viewers. At 10 p.m. we are discussing what's happening in Pakistan and its implications for us in India. Also at 10:30 p.m. Yogi Adityanath's bulldozer rolls on against the Mafia Raj and the politics that's really panning out in Uttar Pradesh. But let's begin with Pakistan first. The nation is staring down an abyss. It would be called quixotic if it was not so dangerous. The state's writ does not run in majority of the country. Diplomatic missions are issuing advisories to their citizens to not travel beyond few key cities. Pakistani Taliban are running their own government. Citizens in PoK-occupied Jammu and Kashmir are protesting against the tyranny of the Pakistani state. There are food riots, and those participating still find time to attack Hindu students celebrating Holi at Lahore University, or declaring Hijab a necessity if the girls want to go to schools in the Gilgit-Baltistan area. Is Pakistan a basket case already? And if yes, what should we be doing? Let's look at this report and I come back to discuss.
Pakistan is cash-strapped.
आप कहते तो नहीं, लेकिन दिल के अंदर तो आप समझते होंगे ये पैसे मांगने आ गए हैं. तो मैंने कहा कि ये पाकिस्तान एक मिसाल इसकी ये है कि एक हाथ में हमारे एक न्यूक्लियर ताकत है और दूसरे हाथ में कशकोल. ये आग और पानी का ये कब तक ये मिलाप हो नहीं सकता.
आटा महंगा, बिजली महंगी.
Cities are in blackout following power outages. A suicide bombing in Pakistan has killed 9 policemen. But the priority of PoK is to mandate the hijab and initiate disciplinary proceedings against violators. It is a mirror image of the Taliban diktat. The move has only increased animosity in the region. Pakistan is now following the Taliban model. Has it shaken off all illusions of being a democracy? Let's debate.
All right, welcome back, friends. Joining me to discuss this, our in-house strategic affairs expert, Major Gaurav Arya. Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza joins us live from London. He's an activist of Gilgit-Baltistan, PoK-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. On the Pakistani side, I'm joined by Dr. Syed Elahi, political analyst. He's live from Islamabad, as also, of course, Raja Faisal. And I would want to begin with him. Raja, what's happening? What's happening in Pakistan? Your chief of army staff does a meeting with industrialists and businessmen, and ostensibly it is on economics. And then he says, army is not going to interfere in Pakistani politics. What's really happening? Who's really in charge? If the Pakistani chief is holding business meetings, who's really running the country? Raja Faisal, I believe we lost the line there. Let me just go to Amjad Ayub Mirza then to understand what's happening. Amjad Ayub Mirza, can you are from Gilgit-Baltistan. You're an activist, though of course as of now based out of London. Can you give us an idea for the benefit of viewers in India, what's really happening in that part of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, this Talibani diktat that women can only be allowed in schools if they wear hijab? We see what's happening in Iran, we see what's happening in Afghanistan. Are the Pakistanis not concerned that they could be the next basket case if this is what is allowed in their in the territory under their control?
First of all, this notification has not come via public consensus or via referendum or via vote. This represents the jihadi mindset of the Prime Minister of Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir and the military establishment of Pakistan. And why have they introduced this now? This hijab controversy has started now. The notification says that every woman who enters into the colleges or universities have to wear a hijab, the admin staff has to wear hijab, the female teachers have to wear hijab. Now, students have been protesting in all parts of so-called Azad Kashmir against non-availability of a syllabus that can be across the board in every college that can be taught. And now exams are coming and students are protesting. Sometimes they turn violent as well, where they are saying which syllabus is going to be used for the board exams, because they are not sure. Every college has a different syllabus. And at the same time, the people are also complaining about lack of teaching staff in the colleges and universities. So this is a kind of, on one level, a diversion has been created for people to focus on hijab, kisne pehna hai, kisne nahi pehna. And the other thing is part of the patriarchy mindset of Pakistan in general. Sorry, you were saying something.
Mirza Saab, we have to understand they are doing something in Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir which, for God's sake, they have not done in Islamabad or Lahore. So it seems that this is being used as a stick to browbeat the people of Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because they are protesting for the last couple of months for basic amenities to be given to them. There have been power cuts ranging up to 20-22 hours a day, and the people have come out and protested.
No, we have been protesting for the past 2 years, more than 2 years. Is it
Okay,
a
let me take this to Saeed Elahi. I'm told Raja Faisal also, now he has line clear with us, but let me take this to Saeed Elahi first. Saeed Elahi, are you punishing the young kids, young girls of Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because the people there are coming out protesting, as Mirza Saab says, for the last 2 years? Do you want to punish them with these kind of Talibani diktats and present them with this kind of a fait accompli?
Sir, thank you very much for taking us on your forum. First of all, I would like
is an independent.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
its own president, prime minister, chief justice, their own police, chief secretary, and AJK rifles. So it is an independent state. So who decide by their own? So now the decision is taken by the government of AJK, not by government of Pakistan.
No.
Number two, please let me talk. You have talked by your turn.
Mirza Saab,
number two is
you're lying.
The hijab is part of
on live
uniform.
on television. You're lying.
Pakistan, KP,
only a Pakistani can have these kind of guns.
KP, GB, AJK, even boys, they wear caps in uniform. That is part of the uniform. So same is with the hijab. Hijab is part of uniform in different provinces of Pakistan. It is nothing new in AJK.
You don't have hijab in Lahore. You don't have hijab in Islamabad.
And number three is,
you don't have hijab in LUMS, the Lahore University of Management Studies, I believe. They don't have hijab. Obviously, because
federal government,
the hijab does not have.
In Islamabad, hijab is part of uniform even in Islamabad. many schools who are federal government schools, they wear hijab in Islamabad and different districts of Punjab even. So that is nothing new. That is part of uniform. So saying that it is being forced or kids are being
Major.
humiliated, no, it is wrong.
Liar, liar,
It is
Major,
all by the
Major,
will of the government,
this is ingenuous.
by the culture,
This
by
is-
the society of Kashmir.
This is ingenuous, Major. Okay, Lai Saab, you have made your point. Major, this is really ingenuous. They are saying, oh, this is Azad Jammu and Kashmir. They have their own system. They are doing something we can't help. Then Pakistan as well, give up Jammu and Kashmir, the Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, give it back to India. Major, if that is the level of deniability that they have, then they
is
should go a
independent
step
state.
further and just give up all
Independent
claims
states
over Pak-occupied
supported by
Jammu and
Pakistan.
Kashmir. Major, the question is to you. Okay, let Major respond.
Okay. Okay, Abhishek, the ruling party is Imran Khan's party. And the Prime Minister is pretty much appointed by Islamabad. So let us not delude ourselves by saying that it's an independent state. It's not an independent state. They might have their flag, they might have their anthem, but that's about all. That is where it ends. It is not an independent state, that's number one. Number two, I feel bad for these girls because when they talk about hijab, you know, nobody asks them कि बेटा आपके कितने marks आ गए, आपने साइंस ली, आपने कॉमर्स ली, आप डॉक्टर बनेंगे, इंजीनियर. इनको इसी रास्ते लगा रखा है कि तुम हिजाब पढ़ लेना, तुम ये कर लेना, तुम हिजाब पहन लो, अपना चेहरा ढक लो, और ये कल्चर के नाम पे. And there are many things that they will not do in Punjab that they will do elsewhere. So I think this is typical Pakistan doublespeak. And Abhishek, my last point, I'll keep it very short, is that you see this entire thing about Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir being independent. It's hardly independent. It's hardly. The finances are controlled by Islamabad, right? Lesser than a secretary level person gives order to their prime minister. Lesser than a secretary level person in secretary तो बहुत मैंने senior बात बोल दी है. Grade 17 grade 18 का अफसर इनको हुक्म चलाता है. हाँ नहीं, grade 17 grade 18 का अफसर इनके प्रधानमंत्री पे so called आजाद कश्मीर के so called प्रधानमंत्री पे हुक्म चलाता है. So it's run out of Islamabad. It is wrong to say that it's independent. We all know it's not independent.
That is your view, sir, but it is
Major,
independent.
you made your
And all
point, but
decisions taken by the parliament.
Raza Faisal is connected with us. Okay, Raza Faisal is connected with us. I want to take this to Raza Faisal. In fact, I began by asking Raza Faisal, and I am coming back to Raza Faisal with that same question. Raja, you see, yesterday there was a meeting, I don't know, in Islamabad or Rawalpindi, where the Chief of Army Staff sat with the Finance Minister and the business leadership of Pakistan to discuss what to do with the economy. You know, you can't run your country, you can't run the economy of the country without the Chief of Army Staff being part of it. That's the state of affairs that you are in. Your defense minister says you have defaulted. It's a matter of time before the IMF also says, okay, we are giving up because you are really not doing what we want you to do. China has only rolled over a debt which you already had with them. So in a way, the kind of mess you are in, do you really think your people there in government, whether in Islamabad or in Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, should be bothered about these things? Raja Faisal, really? About hijab, girls coming to school in hijab, and forgetting the fact that what happened to Malala happened in the same region, same area?
No, it did not happen in the same area. Let's talk about, first of all, you've talked about who's talking about economy and who's not talking about economy. To me, I think every Pakistani, whether in uniform or without uniform, has a right to talk about anything they want. And of course, if in the uniform generals, they are obviously concerned about economy, it's their right to be concerned. As a Pakistani, I have the right to be concerned about my economy, my country's economy. So they have. And now coming back
Raja Faisal, but you can't. Major, what I want to hear on that. This is interesting. He says the Chief of Army Staff is only concerned as any Pakistani citizen. Would you buy that? Would you really buy that? Raja Faisal, let's be honest. You think the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, the PoK Army Chief, is only as concerned as you are?
Abhishek, if you would interrupt me, I'll leave the
which is a little funny.
I did not make a point. I did not make a point, and I want to make a point.
No, if you want to leave, you can. But see, the point is, I asked you a question. I asked you a question. You are trying to play it down. Listen, Raja Faisal, see, I asked you a question, you are playing it down. I want a little honesty in this conversation. Okay, Major, you see, Raja Faisal has decided to leave this conversation. It's really unfortunate that no Pakistani is willing to have an honest dialogue on what's really ailing their country. You know, he was trying to present a picture as if the Pakistan Army Chief, Major,
I can reply the question you asked from Raja Saab. If you allow me,
please go ahead.
reply
Elisa,
on
please
behalf
go
of
ahead.
Raja Saab.
I did not intend that Raja Faisal gets so excited. I just wanted to take the conversation forward because he was sort of trying to play it down.
Army chief with this man was focused on two things. Because PoK is victim of foreign terrorism and the industrial states which are developing on PoK are being attacked by terrorists. And they are sponsored by different foreign countries. So the two new army divisions have been raised to protect PoK. So that's why from Hub to Gilgit, this route is protected by army. So openly, the army chief meets businessmen and investors on PoK. So this meeting was in light of those attacks on different industrial zones on PoK, Gawazar and other areas.
That was the reason. This is my information for you, sir.
Okay. Raja is back. Raja, I did not want you to go out of this conversation. You know, I just said you are sort of trying to play it down. I don't want that. See, it's a serious situation in Pakistan, and we are concerned because of the possible fallout that can happen. Because remember, just day before yesterday, about 3 crore rupees and some foreign currency, about $10,000 or something, was found from a sleeper cell in Jammu region in India, which was a Pakistani sleeper cell or Pakistan deep state backed sleeper cell. Now, on the one side, you are really struggling. On the other, there is possibility of an implosion which can have consequences for the neighborhood. And that's the reason why we are having this serious conversation, Raja.
Well, Abhishek, on one point you're telling me that Pakistan is a bankrupt country, and the other side you're telling me you've caught up with some of the money which belongs to ISI or someone who's just shifted it there and they are running their own show out there. It doesn't happen like this, Abhishek. Now, coming to the point, I wanted to make a point. Gaurav Arya, Gaurav highlighted an excellent point and I wanted to reply that. That's what I wanted to say. He said that it couldn't be any double.
Go ahead.
I agree with him and I liked the way he talked today. But at the same time, I would demand him to talk the same thing about the Indian Muslim girl who's been shouting out loud that she should be allowed because it's her own choice to wear hijab in her college, in her school, in her university. So this is how it should happen. Now coming to whatever has happened in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, let's be very honest. Around 6 to 7 months ago, it all started. And it was not the demand of the parliamentarians. It was not the demand of the government. It was entirely the demand of the parents of the kids. And it has only happened in the co-education schools and colleges, not all of the colleges and schools. If there is only female school, it is not compulsory there. It is only compulsory in the co-education ones. So all I'm trying to say that it is something they have done for themselves. I have gone to schools, I have gone to universities, I have gone to colleges in Pakistan, and let me clear it for you. So many female students from Azad Jammu and Kashmir, when they come to universities all over Pakistan, it is a known fact that they have a habit of wearing hijab. I mean, you won't see Pakistani.
They don't have a habit of saying. They don't have a habit of. You pressurize them. You are a patriarchy society. You force them to wear hijab.
Raja.
Liar, pants on fire.
No, Raja, don't get personal. Raja, this is Amjad Ayub Mirza.
I don't want
Raja,
to
hold on.
I just
okay, you made your point. Raja, let's take this forward. You made your point. Mirza wants to respond to you. Let me just sort of briefly reconstruct what you essentially say, Raja. You are saying, or you're suggesting, in fact, I don't know, I should be agreeing with it or not, but Mirza would have an answer to this. Mirza is from that part of the Pak occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
No, he's
Mirza Sahab,
living-
essentially
he's
what
living
Raja
in a
Faisal
box
is saying
for a
is
long time. He
that
doesn't
many
want
of
to
these... No, listen to him. We are having a reasonable dialogue. Listen to him. Mirza Sahab, Raja Faisal is saying that many of these girl students, when they come from Pak occupied Jammu and Kashmir to various universities, institutions in Pakistan or rest of Pakistan, they are seen to be wearing hijab. He's sort of suggesting that hijab is natural in PoK. Is it true?
No, I tell you, both of these guests are honorable guests, and one is lying and the other one is twisting the facts. We do not have our chief secretary. The chief secretary is appointed by Pakistan. Our IG police is appointed by Pakistan and run by Pakistan. We do not have a proper judicial system because the penal code is decided by Pakistan. We do not have a representative assembly because the interim constitution was written by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and it has been presented and forcefully adopted by the PoK Legislative Assembly. Now come to the hijab. This gentleman says that parents ask their girls to wear hijab. I used to go to a co-education school. I studied in the 60s and 70s in Rawalpindi. We used to sit in the same classroom. We used to sit together. We used to have so much fun. There was no danger to any girl or woman or anything, and nobody wear hijab. They used to wear skirts. But then during the Ziaul Haq's Islamization period, there was this cultural hegemony, this Arab cultural hegemony of Islam, which suffocated the Pakistani society. It killed a democratic society where freedom of choice was of paramount importance. That pressure still continues. And the parents say, Beti, hijab पहन के जाओ कि कोई मुल्ला तुम्हें देख लेगा, कोई जहादी तुम्हें देख लेगा, तो मुसीबत पड़ जाएगी. ये वो वजह है जिसकी वजह से लड़कियों को माँ बाप कहते हैं हिजाब पहनो. But when you issue a notification, you are institutionalizing patriarchy. You are institutionalizing oppression of women. You are institutionalizing deprivation of freedom of choice of women, whether to wear hijab or not wear hijab. I'm not against hijab, but I'm against a law that dictates a certain gender to wear a certain kind of dress. Thank you.
Nonsense. Can you please ask Gauravali to speak?
Major.
Excuse me.
Okay, no, I'll
Excuse
ask
me,
Gauravali
I think,
to speak. I will ask. Eliza, hold on.
Okay.
Eliza, hold on.
Okay.
I will ask
Okay.
Major Radha to speak, but my question is to Pakistani guests first. To you, Raja, first, and then to Eliza. You see, you know what's happening in Iran? About 5,000 cases of poisoning of girls who did not want to wear hijab. Do you realize that regressively, not progressively, I correct myself, regressively, the direction in which this notification takes your society, Raja, you could be ending up in a situation where there are people who want to poison girls because they are not wearing hijab. For God's sake, do you really want to get into that situation?
Abhishek, I'm glad that you have highlighted this point about Iran. I would request India to stop buying 325,000 barrels a day crude oil from Iran, which you are still buying. I would request you to not buy it anymore.
Okay, now I have to take this to Major. Major, is this, Major, this is the difficulty that I sometimes face with Pakistani guests. Even if I'm trying to put across a point, which really, if they are tackling it honestly, helps them, they are not willing to take that. Major, how do you take this situation, I am saying that regressively, this step can take them in a direction where you are looking at a situation where 5,000 young women of your own society, of your own nation have been poisoned by these radicals. Do you want to get into that situation? And Raja Faisal says that, stop buying oil from Iran.
Abhishek, my point is simple. If the Pakistanis, if the Pakistanis or the Iranis want every woman to wear hijab, it's purely their call, and I couldn't care less whether they wear it or not. हमें तो कोई लेना देना नहीं है, उनका अंदर का मामला है. It is just that whenever Pakistanis, you know, every second day in their studios they have this debate, you know, कि आज उस मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी का CEO एक इंडियन लग गया है, YouTube का लग गया है, ट्विटर का लग गया है. वो इसीलिए कि we don't focus on hijab and all this. We focus on education. Which multinational company CEO is Pakistani? Please tell me one company whose CEO is Pakistani. One Pakistani who's made a name for himself in the world in the last 10 years, you know, who has, in terms of corporates or some great invention. It's not going to be there because they are, इसने इतने वक्त नमाज पढ़ ली है, ये सच्चा मुसलमान है, ये झूठा मुसलमान है, इसने हिजाब पहनी है, इसका पैजामा इतना टकने से ऊपर है. This is the whole thing that is happening. They are not interested in education. And you know, Raja Faisal very rightly said that that girl, you know, in India, that why did we stop her from wearing? इन्होंने बोला कि कई जगह हिजाब यूनिफॉर्म होती है, तो हमारी भी यूनिफॉर्म है जिसमें हिजाब शामिल नहीं है. So, like you are very careful about your uniform, that in many schools, like the other gentleman from Pakistan said, that uniform hai. If it is uniform, then it is fine. Then we have no right to say that aap uniform mat pehni. Uniform pehni chahiye. But then please stop supporting that girl in Karnataka who wore the hijab, because wo hamari uniform nahi hai. It's not our uniform. So that is, Major, you know, principally both have to be equal.
That issue, by the way. Yeah, that issue, by the way, is so beautifully being handled by our judiciary. The matter has gone to the High Court. It was there for almost 3 months, and then a verdict came. Another matter is with the Supreme Court of the country, and it's being dealt with in the finest principles of constitutionalism, and that's how it should be. It's not a diktat. It's about the society. And look at last 24 to 48 hours. I'll read some headlines for my Pakistani guests coming out of Pakistan. You know, we sort of closely track. Major does that, I do that. What's happening in Pakistan with a lot of concern. Look at these headlines. Belgium issues travel advisory yesterday, telling its diplomats and citizens not to travel in cities outside of Islamabad because of the worsening security situation. Last month, in fact, Netherlands and China, they shut down their consular section both in Islamabad. Then there is a warrant issued against Imran Khan. He has transferred the presidentship of his party to somebody. And then you have 9 soldiers killed in a suicide blast in Balochistan. They are Pakistani citizens, Pakistani soldiers dying there, Raja and Mr. Elai. And then you have Hindu students being attacked for playing Holi in Lahore. You have a hijab being made compulsory in PoK. And you have reports of US dollars when Pakistan does not have enough dollars to import. You have reports of US dollars being smuggled to Afghanistan. You know, army chief having a meeting with business leaders, Elai Saab, and telling them that Quran says that tough times don't last and that this time should also pass, is not a prescription for getting Pakistan out of the mess it is in.
You have raised 3 questions, so I will categorically respond to them. First of all, you talked about Holi. So there was no Hindu student in that fight. That fight was basically between student unions, and there was no Hindu involved in the fight or injured. Both parties were from 2 different groups, and both were arrested for fighting because they were from different groups. This is number 1. Other thing you said about Balochistan. In Balochistan, we are facing terrorism, where Mr. Gulbhushan was arrested. We are facing that. We are responding. So that's happening. Number 2 is that, as you said, many things are happening in Pakistan, many things are happening in India. And we both agree that still both countries are enemies. We are not friends. And both are involved in terrorism in each other's country. This is not a hidden fact now. India is involved, Pakistan is involved.
No,
so
this has to be contested. This has to be contested.
Listen to me, please.
Elai Saab, this has to be contested.
Listen to me. Please,
this has to be contested. This has to be contested. It can't go uncontested.
He is still our guest.
No, this can't go uncontested.
Who has given
this can't go uncontested. Please, for God's sake, take care of yourself. Don't put blame on Afghanistan. Don't put blame on India. You have started blaming Afghanistan also now.
For terrorism in Pakistan, sponsored and headed by Mr. Gulbhushan.
आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि हम क्यों दुश्मन हैं. मिर्जा साहब बोलिए.
अच्छा, और मिर्जा साहब को तो मेरे ख्याल गए 50 साल हो गए, इनको मालूम ही नहीं है कि कश्मीर में
आपने कहा है कि हम एक दूसरे के
कश्मीरी
दुश्मन
हैं,
हैं। हम एक दूसरे के दुश्मन नहीं हैं।
सर्विस के लोग हैं,
हमारे दुश्मन
कश्मीर
हैं।
सर्विस के लोग,
जब पाकिस्तान बना
कश्मीर
था
सर्विस के
50
लोग
करोड़
चीफ
रुपया
सेक्रेटरी और
गांधी जी
आईजी
ने
है,
जबरदस्ती
पाकिस्तान के लोग नहीं है।
जब पाकिस्तान बना
है,
तो
कश्मीर सर्विस के लोग
निजाम ने
चीफ
आपको
सेक्रेटरी,
सोने
आईजी
भेजे वहां
और जज हैं।
आपकी सरकार खड़ी हो कर्जों के ऊपर पहले दिन से आप लोग खड़े।
इनको मेरे ख्याल में गए हुए 60 साल हो गए, इनको मालूम ही नहीं है।
ऊपर हमला किया 22 अक्टूबर
प्लीज अपडेट योर नॉलेज राजा साहब।
आपने की जब आपने 1965 के अंदर जो है
जजेस
वो
आर
कश्मीर पे हमला
कश्मीरीज।
किया। दुश्मनी आपने की जब 1971 में भी आपने कोशिश की
राजा
कि कश्मीर
साहब, आप
की दुश्मनी
पुरानी बात कर रहे हैं, मैं नई
1999 में
बात कर रहा हूं।
आपके जो आर्मी
Kindly
चीफ थे
update your knowledge about
उन्होंने
Kashmir.
की। दुश्मनी आप लोगों ने की और कहते हैं हम एक
सारे
दूसरे के
कश्मीर
हम
में
किसी के दुश्मन नहीं
Okay,
हैं।
let me intervene here. Let me intervene here.
कश्मीरी हैं।
Let me intervene here.
साबित करके दिखाओ।
Mirza Saab, Eli Saab, hold on. Let me intervene here. You know, just about half an hour back, in fact, when I was heading into the studio, I got this.
telling blatant lies on national television,
इनको
sir.
राय साहब को
okay,
पता नहीं है पाकिस्तान के हालात का अपने से बनाई जा रहे हैं।
अभिषेक,
पाकिस्तान के हालात तो बहुत खराब हैं, सबको दिख रहे हैं। Everyone
देखिए,
sees
पहली
what's
बात यह है कि चीफ
happening in
सेक्रेटरी,
Pakistan.
आईजी, चीफ जस्टिस,
Okay.
पुलिस सारे कश्मीरी हैं और उनकी अपनी सर्विस है। पाकिस्तान से नहीं जा रहे अब, ये पुरानी बात कर रहे हैं
13 ब्रिगेड
1960
फौज
की।
आपने वहां क्यों बिठाई हुई है? झूठ बोल रहे
भाई 13 ब्रिगेड बिठाइए तो वो तो फौज बिठानी होती है और क्या करनी है? फौज किस लिए होती है?
13 ब्रिगेड
बिठाने के लिए होती है और
इन पाकिस्तानी ऑक्युपाइड जम्मू कश्मीर।
फौज
Why do you
जहाँ
have
खतरा हो वहाँ फौज बिठानी होती
is
है।
there? Elahi,
आप तो मुझे कुछ हवाड़ा लग रहे हैं भाई।
Mr. Elahi, Fauj is there
जी।
to bleed Pakistan. I mean, it's a blunt truth I am telling you on your face today. It's a blunt truth I am telling you on your face today. Fauj is there to bleed Pakistan. Fauj is there to tell Pakistan that Quran Sharif says, as your chief Asif Munir said yesterday, that Quran says that difficult times don't last, everything would be fine because they don't have any other solution. But the fact of the matter is, I have to come to an end of this conversation. The fact of the matter is that we wish that Pakistan really thought of doing things which it should be doing so that it does not implode. I was just getting into the studio and I got a report that India is sending 21,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan and it would go via Chabahar. When it comes to humanitarian aid, we were one of the first countries to come to the aid, to the rescue, to the relief of brothers and sisters in Turkey when they had an earthquake last month. It's not that we can't do things in our neighborhood. It's a choice Pakistan has to make, that whether they want to still foment trouble and terror in its neighborhood or they want to live at peace. Okay, if you don't want help, it's okay. But then you have to learn to live at peace with yourself. Listen, and whatever is happening in Pakistan does not help the cause of your own peace.
I think we are supporting Afghanistan fully. Even last week, the foreign minister and other people, they visited Afghanistan and they softened the border for humanitarian aid and all.
Afghanistan, how they are supporting Afghanistan. There were statements coming in from the Pakistani Prime Minister himself that there would be military action inside Afghanistan if things don't change. This is the way you're supporting Afghanistan?
Everything from Pakistan, from water to food, wheat, everything, daily, hundreds of trucks, they go
and
to
the 21,000 tons of wheat, unfortunately, that India has to send to Afghanistan has to go via Chabahar because Pakistan won't provide that corridor. That's the reality.
We don't mind. India should send anything. But Pakistan is sending every day wheat to water
on that
from
note,
Pakistan. Because Afghanistan is totally dependent on Pakistan. In comparing with Iran, they import everything.
Okay, on that note, unfortunately, I've run out of time. I have to end this there. I hope and wish that the Pakistani guests increasingly get a little more honest with the situation there on the ground in the interest of their own well-being and for peace in the neighborhood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Raja Faisal, Mr. Elahi, and Mirza Saab, and of course, our own Major Gaurav Arya. Thank you so much for joining us. A short break.